The gold silver ratio. Okay, so we're at exit strategy. So this is exit strategy number one. The GSR, the gold silver ratio, it's going to be a really good indicator of when the bull market is over. So the GSR historically, um, back in the 1800s, was about 16, and gold is mined about 10 to 1. I hear some people say 9 to 1, some people say 12 to 1, 8 to 1, but it's about 10 to 1. And so, but silver's never garnered, a 10 to 1 valuation versus gold. Gold gets a little bit of a premium, if you will, so 16 to 1. But currently it's about 70, somewhere in there. And so um, it reached 122 last year. It's the all-time high. It never got that high before. Kind of got out of control. Um, the last in 2011, it dropped down to 39. And in 1981, it went to 17. So I think that once the GSR gets down, say, um, below 30, you have to start thinking in terms of this bull market is getting, it's getting close to ending, if you will. So the GSR is something to look at. Now the GSR isn't my favorite indicator per se, but it's a good one because we know that in 1981 it got to 17 and in 2011 it got to 39. We also know that in 2011 the bull market was very short, so it probably would have got to 30 is my guess if the bull market would have lasted a little bit longer. So this bull market, I think 30 is really when once we get 30, around 30, that's when you start thinking in terms this could end. That's really, it's time to take some profits. Um, and I would say that the bull market right here, I say that has begun when it drops below 50 and is ending when it exceeds 50. So it doesn't make a lot of sense, Don. You just said when it ends 30, it's going to be exiting. So 30 is um, yeah, we're kind of in bull market territory below 50, but once it gets down to 30, I think that's about when it's going to end. Okay, the Dow Gold ratio. This one is another going to be another good indicator for when it's getting frothy. So I don't think that the bull market's really going to get frothy until like 35, 30 GSR. And then for gold Dow ratio, I think 3 is when it's going to really get frothy, and 2 is going to be a kind of a good exit point. So if we look at the Dow gold ratio back in 1981, it was 1. 850 gold, 850 Dow, 1 to 1. Some people think we might do that again. I don't. I think we're probably going to go to 2 to 1. And I think once we get to 3 to 1, that's basically going to start indicating that this bull market is probably getting ready to end. And if we get a lot of inflation and the stock market goes crazy, we're not going to see this, of course. But I think that the stock market's going to come back down, and I think we will see this type of a scenario. So here's some projected possible scenarios. We have the Dow at 20,000 and gold at 10,000. That would be a 2 to 1. Remember, I said 2 to 1 is like that's about when you want to get out. And then we have 15,000 on the Dow and 7,500 on gold, and then 10,000, 5,000. So something in here. I think that I don't know if it'll crash all the way to 10. I don't know if we're going to hit any of these, but these are just numbers to take a look at. Um, uh, yeah, I'm not sure, but the Dow Gold ratio is another indicator for exiting. Okay, so this is my plan, my exit strategy. So as the price of silver goes higher, so sell silver stocks as silver prices rise. So for every $10 that silver rises above 50, I'm going to look for stocks to sell. Um, I'm overweight in Mexico, and so I want to get out of silver stocks. So I'm going to be looking for silver stocks to get out of, and so I want to sell at least 50% of my silver stocks by $100 silver. Now this is conservative. I'll probably be more aggressive than this. I might get out of 50% by 75, $180 silver, but this is my conservative. I plan to be out of 50% of my silver stocks by $100 silver. And once silver goes even higher, say 150, I'll probably be 80% out. So as silver goes up, so I want to aggressively, I kind of aggressively get out of silver stocks. I think this is a once in a lifetime market. I don't want to hold this for another 10 years. I think this is it. This is the bull market. I think this is when we're going to see silver go to 150, 200. So sell gold stocks as gold prices rise. So I'm going to be less aggressive here than silver. And the reason why is because I just think that silver has more risk than gold. Because it's a strategic metal, and I just think that governments are not going to allow really, really high prices and shortages. I mean, that's why I said I'll probably be even more aggressive than this. It just depends what kind of shortages we have, but I might have to be more aggressive on silver. It depends. But gold, I'm going to be less aggressive. I'll be more patient with my gold stocks. So I'm only going to sell about 25% of my gold stocks by 2,500. So that means I'm going to let them, 75% of them ride all the way to, close to 3,000. I'll be very patient with my gold stocks because I think gold will go to 3,000. And from 3,000 to 3,500, that's when I'll be really exiting. That's when I'll be aggressively getting out of gold stocks. But I really want to like to ride it up to 3,000. So other part of my exit plan is keeping 25% of my quality producers. Now, what I mean by keeping 25% is not keeping the entire stocks. That means I'm going to sell 75% of an individual stock and keep 25% of the stock. Somebody recommended this to me, and it makes a lot of sense. He said that you never know how high gold and silver is going to go. That final 25%, you could have more gains on that final 25% than the first 75%. That makes a lot of sense to me. So I'm going to, sell 70. I'm only going to do this on the quality producers. So, and then I'm going to basically let them ride to the top. So I'm going to sell 75% and then put in a trailing stop of say 25% and then let the stocks stop out on their own. So if they're quality stocks, they really shouldn't sell down 25% unless the bull market is over. But it's possible. I mean, a 25% sell-off is very possible in this very volatile market. But I'm going to try that definitely with a few stocks. I'm going to see how I'm going to let them ride.